Hi, and welcome to the Tarot Share Live at Serenity and Soul. We're located at 400 North Center Street in Westminster, Maryland, in the Town Mall of Westminster. We have a metaphysical shop here and an event center, and we are inviting you with this live to share in learning about the Tarot. We do have other events here, and I wanted to let you know that on Monday, July 8th, we will be having an essential oils class from 5:30 to 6:30. There is also a live lesson share with the essential oils, and you're going to be able to put together your own essential oil concoction, because the things that I have seen, they have smelled so good. There's a bug repellent spray, and I know that there are a couple of other things that have been created, and we're working steadily on getting you those recipe pages, which will then be shared throughout the month on our Facebook. So make sure that if you are not following us, you start following us, because we have a lot to share with the community. Also, on Thursday, July 11th, we're having a free Reiki share. So basically, we will have someone who is well-versed in Reiki facilitating this lovely event come to practice your Reiki skills, to learn about Reiki, or to just have Reiki performed on you. That's going to be, what time is that? I forgot to write the time down. It's at 5:30 p.m. And how long does it last? 1 hour. So it's for 1 hour. And so that's just to test and see if we've got a good community to come out and do this, because we could probably do it for multiple times throughout the month or for a longer period of time, depending on the turnout. Also, Saturday, not this coming Saturday, but the following Saturday, July 13th, come meet us out at the Pride Festival that's going to be in the center of Westminster from 12 p.m. to 6 p.m. We plan to have a booth, but if that doesn't happen, we'll be out there passing out flyers and talking to people and sharing in the community that we love. And then I wanted to let you all know that for July, our sale is 25% off of all candles. While fireworks are going to be on display all week, they can be a little dangerous. So bring a little fire into your house with one of our beautiful zodiac, elemental, crystal candles, or some other variation of that. We also have these small tapers for spell work as well as meditation. So, our Serenity and Soul giveaway, if you come to the store, you can fill out a slip and you can win the gifts that are actually on our website. Take a look at our July giveaway. Come in and enjoy. If you're a new customer, you can get a new customer sign-up discount. Also, if you haven't followed our page, go ahead and follow our page and show one of our associates for a social media I followed you discount. All right, so those are our announcements for today. So let's get right into the suit of coins. Well, actually, some people call them pentacles. I call them coins because it's easier to spell. These are basically the round circle with the star in them, though there are many different representations across decks. I know that there is a suit of drums in some of the decks. So when you think about these coins, these pentacles, and the fact that they look like gold, we immediately think of wealth, abundance, our career, heritage, family, all of the traditional things. Realize that money and coins are currency. So while this is a very sort of fixed idea, earth, grounded, it also implies a current that moves through things, and it is continuity as well. So this is a yin or feminine polarity, which means that it's about nurturing the physical body. And then we're going to go through each of these. Now, I just want to let you know that while I give lots of keywords and talk about these cards, these are my interpretations, and they may not align fully with interpretations that you understand. Realize that The tarot is a psychological tool that keys itself to your way of looking at things if you are the owner of that deck. So these are suggestions. These are not, written in stone. These are not going to be on a test anywhere. And you can investigate on your own and figure out exactly what it is that you think these cards mean. So I'm going to go over the keywords. We're going to start with the Ace of Coins. And of course, aces always indicate new beginnings. So on the positive side of the wheel, we have abundance, breakthrough, and regimens. Now, regimens are those ways that we order our life so that energy can move through it. I was just telling everybody about how lightning creates tracers, or tracers actually create an avenue for lightning to move through. And so regimens are sort of the earth and pentacle way of creating a conduit for that current that we were talking about a little bit earlier, of wealth, abundance, of creating our future. So aces are very, very, very positive when they are surrounded by good cards. All right, so on the negative side of things, it could indicate that you have a pattern of being a spendthrift. There may be resistance or a blockage in the conduit. And also it indicates disorder, which means that we don't have the conduit in order so that the current can run through it. All right, number 2. And here you see an individual balancing 2 coins, and of course we have our limnicet, which is the sideways 8, which indicates infinity. So this is, when you look at that, you go, oh wow, it just means that I'm constantly balancing everything throughout life, and that's it, that's how it's going to be. So what we have here is we have multitasking, balance, and efficiency. This is somebody who knows how to order and prioritize their tasks. And on the negative side, we could have overwhelm. People shut down when they hit overwhelm. We could have an imbalance, somebody who's being irritable because of the overwhelm. And then, of course, we might have overspending. And that doesn't just mean in, coin. It could mean that you are overspending your physical resources, your emotional resources, or your mental resources in day-to-day activities. So be mindful of this if it's surrounded or are aspected by difficult cards. All right, number 3. This is the card of the expert. Okay, so basically, here is this individual who has been hired by clergy to create something in a church. And we see here that they are conferring and listening to the advice of the expert. On the positive side, of course, we have expertise, but we also have colleagues and how we interact with them, and cooperation. And that's when equals come into a discussion and a planning to create a common vision. We also have, on the negative side of things, we have overreach. Okay, so some people who like to take credit for the work of others, or who overstep the boundary of what their role is in such an endeavor. We have competition, and then of course we have what could be sabotage, someone taking credit for your work or something of that sort. Now, number 4. Now this card, I always cringe when I see it because I get it a lot. And, it could mean constipation of an energetic sort because you're holding on too tightly to something that no longer serves you. It could be a sense of familial pride, or, a sense of entitlement because that's the way it's always been. It could be a desire to control the situation because you feel incredibly terrified of what would happen if you didn't have control. So inflexibility, arrogance, and greed. I put it under the positive, but that's actually the negative aspect of it. So, like switch that around on the sheet. And then the positive side of it, though, is, cooperation, the ability to let go, to release whatever it is that you're holding on to. It could be humility, as in realizing you can't do it all, you can't have all of it because it's too much of a responsibility for one person. And it also could indicate generosity in the sense of sharing resources instead of trying to hog it all to yourself because of this idea or concept of lack. Okay, number 5. So if we hold on too tight, this is what could happen to us. This is a poverty mindset. So we start out with sort of the lack mindset, and when we are in a lack mindset, we make decisions based on scarcity. So what it does is it drives us into this sort of poverty mindset where we feel like the world is against us, no one will help us, and meanwhile, if only we looked, the charity that we are seeking is right in front of us. So this can be, in a positive sense, a wealth mindset. The idea of taking responsibility for yourself and also having faith that the universe in and of itself is beneficent and is not out to get you. Now, if we go to the more negative side, it's a poverty mindset, self-pity. Oh, poor me, victimhood, and of course, a lack of faith. It's never fun to see this card, but usually what it indicates that you are not looking at the bounty that is actually in front of you. Okay. 6. All right, so now here we have the exact opposite of what number 5 looks like. Now 6 is about reciprocity. Sometimes you're the giver, sometimes you are the receiver. And as you can see, there are scales in this particular one. So that's why we consider it reciprocity, because it's a balance of giving and receiving. This card usually indicates that assistance and charity is in the offing, either through you or to you. Also, if you look at it from a different way, this could be self-care and boundaries that you set, because we do have concepts such as overgiving, oversharing, giving too much of ourselves, having no boundaries. So one of the other ways that you can define it is, oh, now you're setting boundaries, depending on what cards are around it. But it can also indicate selfishness, an unwillingness to share, an unwillingness to move the current of currency through so that more wealth and abundance can come your way. Number 7 is about analysis. This is where you look at what you have harvested so far and you determine what the next best steps are. What was the yield that you received from your efforts? Is it worth doing it again? This is a time of reflection where you can re-navigate your course so that you are headed in the most appropriate direction for what you want to achieve. So here we have harvest, reflection, planning. And then also, we can look at it in a negative way, right? And we can say, oh, this is a failed return. But we also know that failure is just information that tells us how we can improve upon something. So if it's a failed return, then you look at why did it fail and how can I make it so that it won't? And is it something that can actually succeed? But you also want to see here that it could be stubbornness, it could be impulsivity, it could be spontaneity, depending on the cards and sort of the feeling that you get about the card itself. Then we have the 8 of Pentacles. The 8 of Pentacles is the apprenticeship card. This is a card that says basically you are the student and you are going to be putting in a lot of hard work to move forward into your expertise. So it could be going back to school, it could be going into an apprenticeship program, it could be taking on a new position where you may have the ability but not necessarily the experience to perform the job properly. We have learning, apprenticeship, and development in your career or in education. And then on the more negative side, it could be sort of that dogmatic, I know how to do this, even though you may not, or sort of a haphazard, not showing up to class, kind of things, not meeting your responsibilities to achieve the desired result. And also it could be an indication of apathy and shirking responsibility. All right. My mom used to call this card, the Nine of Coins or Pentacles, the Lady of Substance. This is someone who is able to care for themselves. They do not require the assistance of anyone else. This is self-made person. Okay? So what we have here is the fruits of our labor. We are enjoying them right now. We have financial freedom, and we also have leisure time. We're able to obtain the things we need to live a satisfying life. On the negative side, it could be a card of entitlement, gluttony, and boredom. All right, because if you have everything, what's there to get? So, and then the 10 of Pentacles and Coins. This is the legacy card. Here we see a patriarch with the family around, all the coins. And if you'll notice, the coins are in the shape of the tree of life, showing all four worlds. This is a card of accomplishment, of setting down your legacy and leaving something behind that others can remember you by. So we have, heritage, origins, and how they have benefited us, and sometimes how they have held us back. We also have inheritance. This is also epigenetics, genetics, emotional and mental patterns in families. We also have the negativity of, having shocks, such as being taken away from your family, being an orphan, having setbacks that prevent you from being able to care in a fashion that you deem appropriate for your family. And it could also be a card where we see abandonment occurring because the family unit is not there to support you. So now we're moving into the court cards. Now the court cards can indicate people, but the page usually is a card of messages about to arrive. So that could be the acceptance letter to Harvard, or it could be that you got that job, or it could be, oh my goodness, you just inherited. So these are positive and negative messages about wealth, career, education, family, health. All right. We also see this card as the student, the perpetual student, but usually it indicates that you are on a new path of learning if the cards support that interpretation. It also could be the prodigal son or daughter, the one who went off to find their fortune, failed miserably, and came home full of experience and wisdom and humility, and now they are back in the fold. So the Knight of Pentacles is cardinal earth, and that means that we are looking at Capricorn. So you can apply those Capricornian, Saturnian traits to the Knight of Pentacles. So practical, grounded. Also, it could be the immature version of the Capricorn, irresponsible, interrogative, demanding, and pretty much a sense of entitlement to whatever has been hard won without really working for it. The Queen of Pentacles is mutable earth, and that means this is Virgo. And Virgo is the virgin. She is ruled by Venus, so there is lots of nurturing going on here. This is the Earth Mother of the zodiac. This is the one that asks you if you have your gloves, your hat, and won't let you get out the door until you are properly covered up for the harsh winter. This is the person who asks you, have you eaten? Did you have a salad today? How about some veggies? How about some veggies? Do you need some veggies? Okay, so the queen is nurturing, but she also can be sort of the devouring mother. All right. And the devouring mother does everything for you. You can't do anything right. She's there to help you so that you can never, ever, ever disconnect from her apron strings. So that's the queen. And finally, last but not least, the King of Pentacles or coins, and he is fixed earth, which is Taurus. So this is strong, viral, stubborn energy. It gets things done. This is the mature mentor who wants to see everyone succeed and has the means to show them how. But this is also the very stubborn and sort of my way or the highway kind of guy. You know, you either do it his way or you're wrong. You're wrong. So this energy is very fixed. So the idea of fixed is that it's very steady. This is steadfastness in a card. All right. So there you have it. The pentacles, the suit of pentacles and coins and drums and all things of the earth explained the way that I understand them. Please feel free to share your interpretations of various cards or catchphrases that you've heard or ways that you actually interpret the cards down in the comments. I would love to see them. Also, I wanted to let you all know I am going to be part of a retreat. I am facilitating with Phil Fuster from Realize Meditation at a lakefront house in Lottsburg, Virginia, right on the Chesapeake Bay. And that is July 12th, 13th, and 14th. I'm going to drop the flyer down below in the comments, and that will have Lauren Duffy's information from Karma Hub. Karma Hub is a group on Facebook that features multiple practitioners, so we'll put his information down there as well as the link to Phil's Realize Meditation group. And the retreat, we're going to learn how to do guided meditations and put together offerings that encourage people to come and join your community and help support you in your mission. So look for the information down below. This is Io Kirkwood from Serenity and Soul. We're at 400 North Center Street in Westminster, Maryland, in the Town Mall of Westminster. We look forward to seeing you and come shop at our store. Namaste.